Good afternoon, Hit Nation. This is my Worthless Half a Penny Part 4, birthday edition. I'm turning 44 today. I can't believe I'm turning 44, but I don't want to talk about this. When I look at myself in the cameras, uh, just one, by the way, I can see my white strings of beard coming out, and not very happy about that. But today's edition is about the MVP award, what it means, and particularly inspired by Dwight Howard's comments on the fact that Nikola Jokic won the MVP award again, and then questioning why has he won this more than once. And other players, he mentions Kobe, he mentions Shaq, he mentions LeBron, either didn't have any or didn't have more or didn't have more than one, given their importance to the game of basketball in general. And people that know me know that I come from a background of soccer, which is called football in the rest of the world, as most of you already know. There is a recording that I did of that in an audio podcast on SoundCloud that is a little bit long. I'm going to try to do a short video on that. Why is it called football, etc.? But that's not the topic of the conversation today. I wanted to talk about what is MVP to you. What does MVP mean to you? And I'm going to tell you what MVP means to me. And I want to say that Dwight Howard's comments are actually on point. A lot of people look at Dwight Howard and they think, oh my God, it's instantly something stupid that he's going to say. Just because it's this kind of a wild card, love the UD finger pointing moment with Dwight Howard and of course that intensity of the hatred. But the guy's not stupid and he knows what he's talking about. So coming from a soccer background, what I can tell you is that to me, he was always the best player of the championship. Those are the words that we use. The best player of the championships. The measure and the rates to consider who is the best player of the championship vary, but it's normally going to be the best player of a championship after the championship has been won, regardless of what it is. Because you have cups, and then the only thing that matters is who is the winner. It doesn't matter who won the groups. And then you have leagues, which are basically, sets of normally 38 games, right? It's two legs, one at home and one away against, facing each of the teams in the championship. That normally has 20 teams, so it's 38 games. And only at the end of those 38 games would you be able to actually judge, right, who is the best player. And normally that best player is going to be of a champion, a champion team, not a team that is the front runner or anything of the sorts, but or the runner up, right? In this case, the what we call the vice champion. No, we're talking about the champion only. And then you have different wordings for it, right? It's the golden boot for Brazil and some other championships, is the golden ball, the Ballon d'Or, for to name the best player in the world. And again, the best player in the world is going to be based on the performance of the club and specifically on how that player performs in the club. But it's normally of a champion. It's never going to be of a runner-up. It's never going to be of a previous front runner. It's always going to be of a champion. In the NBA, the MVP, I thought when I first started watching that it would mean the most valuable player. But I always understood that it can't just be the most valuable player to a team that's not succeeding. It has to be to a team that is succeeding, which is what Dwight Howard says that he thinks the MVP award should mean. And to me, the MVP award should be given to the first seeds, to players of the first seeds, unless those teams don't have an MVP, which I think we have a case this year. But this year, it would have been, either an MVP in the Celtics or an MVP in the Nuggets. Having said that, without Jokic, the Nuggets are barely a first round exit team. That's the truth. As much as Jamal Murray is important to the team, without Jokic, that team is just a regular team. They don't make it to the playoffs. Regardless of stats, which are always brought up throughout the regular season in those MVP races, which would then, put Luka Doncic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and so forth, Embiid. Why? In my opinion, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Luka Doncic, depending on how you think an MVP, what do you think an MVP is, could be winning. But it is Nikola Jokic because he's a first seed. And Boston doesn't have an MVP. Sorry about that, Tatum. Really sorry, but you're not an MVP, my man. Never gonna be. Let's go Heat.